Hello, welcome again. This time again I want to do another book review. Here's my cat Horatio doing another little cameo in here. He is always got to come in and give his shots. The book that I'm going to do today, I'm sure most people have read. A lot of us have to read this in high school here in America. It's To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This book, to say that it's a classic in American literature, I think is even a bit of an understatement for this book. It's a really powerful, really moving book. Just basically about race relations in the South around the turn of the century, before World War II, during the Depression. And, yeah, don't be doing that, please, buddy. And so I read this book again, and it affected me a lot differently than it did when I was in high school. Most people, when they read books in high school, it's like, oh, I've got to struggle through this book, and you don't really enjoy it as much as like if you actually sit down and want to read it yourself. So, I mean, anyone who's read this in high school, I'd recommend to go back and read it again. It was so good. And the part that really got to me was at the end where the main character and her brother, Scout and Jem, I think his name was, yeah. And like they get attacked by this person who is really against their father defending the African American gentleman. He's the guy who probably was beaten up and maybe raped his daughter and then blamed it on the African American gentleman. And then the African American gentleman, goes to jail and then tries to get out of jail and then gets killed on his way out of jail. But just the part at the end, though, where they're coming back from the Halloween play or presentation or whatever it was, and then they get attacked by this gentleman, and then it turns out that the person through the whole book that they were just, totally wondering about, Boo Radley, who, lived in this house down the street and never came out, he came out and saved them. And I don't know, it's really hard to talk about this book for me because it's just so personal, almost. I mean, it really grabs you on a personal level, and it makes you think about, the way that you view other people and the way that people view you. And it just really got to me. I thought it was an awesome book. I recommend anyone to go out and read this book. I'm not going to, go into a lot of the whole parts about this book because, like I said, I'm sure a lot of people have read this book. It's been out for, many years, 40, 50 years now. And just a lot of people have read tons or written tons about this book as well. But, I mean, if you get past the fact that they, that it is written in a style of the South, in the Depression, and that, a lot of the words that are in there are not words that we use anymore. They're not politically correct or anything like that. But you get beyond that. I mean, I couldn't understand why schools would ban this book. What the hell is wrong with you? I mean, this really just, it touches you on a personal level. And, actually the character that I probably identified most with is probably Boo Radley, just because he's, this hermit guy, which, I'm a little bit of a hermit myself. And he's trying to reach out to his community and stuff like that in the only way that he really knows how, and that's just by, helping out the kids in the neighborhood and leaving little things for him in the tree. That's a great shot in the beginning of, the things that he's left in the tree, like a pocket watch and a freaking ball of string and a bunch of other things. And I mean, one of the things that really kind of got to me that I wish was a little different, but I can totally understand why it's the way it is, was when they went back to the tree and they were going to leave something in the tree, and the knothole had been cemented over, and that was really. I wish. It's like the characters are so real that you wish that they could have left something in the knothole in the tree. But like I said, this book it's really, it touches you on a personal level, and I think anyone should go out and read it. I'm not going to talk, extensively about, what happens in the book, like I've said, just because I want everyone to experience it for themselves, Read it yourself. It's really cheap. I mean, you can get this book for like $5, and you could probably get it used for like $1 or $2. Every library in America, I'm sure, has this book. So go out and get it. It's a great book. Amazing. The book I'm reading right now is one of my, favorites by one of my favorite authors. It's America by Franz Kafka. This book is like so funny, but it's like dry funny. That's kind of what I like about it. But I love Kafka, and I'll do a book review on this after I've read it again. This will be the 4th time that I've read this book. First time I read it, I think I was 13, maybe 14. I was a sophomore in high school, and I don't know why I got into Kafka then, but I did. But that'll be my next book review, so look for that. It'll be out in a week or two. Thanks. Go out and read.